Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was amazing. Rarely do you come across a show that strikes the perfect balance between brutality and hype. It holds up both ends of the bargain. It makes you jump with excitement and simultaneously compels you with its writing. This video is all about the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's not about the animation. Lord knows I've done enough of that already. I loved this season. To me, the Shibuya arc is the greatest battle shonen arc by a country mile. It's a culmination of everything that makes Jujutsu Kaisen click. Speaking of which, make sure to click the subscribe button. I came up with a clever segue and everything. The Shibuya arc is amazing, but we can't talk about it without talking about the Hidden Inventory arc, aka the first 5 episodes. This arc is the point where the story really starts to unfold. Hidden Inventory is far more than oh look, young Gojo. It's a look at the Jujutsu world, not through the naive eyes of Yuji, but rather through the eyes of characters who know what this world is like. Toji, the main villain in quotation marks, was simply a product of this world. He shot this teenager in the head. Let's get another angle. Yup. He's awful, that's like the third worst thing he did. But even without his presence, the world wouldn't be perfect. As for the leads, Gojo and Geto are very different characters with very different outcomes. Near the start, Gojo was the rebel, while Geto was the model student. But by the end, Geto truly crawled out of the hole that is the Jujutsu world, while Gojo hung around near the edge without making that climb. Geto is one of the most well-written characters in the genre, and his descent gives us a look at the Jujutsu world and its relation with the rest of the world. I find it ironic that Gojo had his big "I am liberated" moment, but by the end of the arc, he was the one who was conflicted, not Geto. Both of them know that the entire system is flawed. You can kill curses, but that won't go anywhere. New ones will be born. Kill them, and new ones will pop up again. It's a cycle. Send sorcerers out to fight and die. Assimilate teenagers, kill curses, and get killed by them. It's pointless. And yet, Gojo continues to play along, while Geto tries to do something about it. As f***ed up as his methods might be. The bullet hole in Rico's cranium set into motion a sequence of events that truly opened Geto's eyes. His downward spiral led him to his answer. Kill every single non-sorcerer, which would eliminate the leakage of cursed energy and therefore rid the world of cursed spirits. He now had a purpose. Slaughter was no longer pointless to him. This overall context is incredibly important, and it's what makes this series so compelling. It poses questions and ideas that few other shows dare to. It spends time exploring the ins and outs of the world itself, and that much-needed context brings us to the Shibuya arc, where this flawed world turns upside down. As I said before, I think the Shibuya arc is the best shonen arc out there. I don't consider AOT to be a shonen, by the way. Oh, but what about the magazine it was published in? Shut up, nerd. This arc featured a plethora of incredible moments, and whatever the hell this was. I won't spend time recapping the plot. I have no intention of padding the video length. You've seen the show, you know what happens. This arc was perfect in so many different ways. For starters, everything made sense. The build-up made sense. The story structure made sense. The power scaling made sense. The characters and their actions and outcomes made sense. Even the aftermath made sense. That right there is good writing. Let's go through some of these aspects, starting with the villains. One of the most refreshing things about this arc was the villain group. They didn't act like idiots. Their actions were carefully planned, which made the story more tense. Curses are interesting. They are a reflection of human malice, and even when they gain intelligence, they stay true to their instincts. That's what it means to be a curse. Jogo was a bit different. He was more rational. He prioritized the overall plan, which, according to Sukuna, was his weakness. Speaking of Sukuna, he is proper evil. This arc makes it clear that he and Yuji won't form a Naruto Kurama-like association, which adds to the overall idea of Yuji blaming himself for the Shibuya incident. The attack on Shibuya was a meticulously crafted ambush. For the main characters, it came out of nowhere, but for us, the audience, it was built up wonderfully. The story arcs in JJK aren't fragmented. They don't exist purely for the entertainment value. They build up to something. The fearsome womb arc featured Yuji's first interaction with the death of a bystander, a concept that would play a pivotal role throughout Shibuya, especially near the end. The Junpei arc featured Yuji's first interaction with Mahito and Nanami, as well as Mahito's first interaction with Yuji and Sukuna. All of these character dynamics would come full circle in the Shibuya arc. The Kyoto Goodwill event arc was really important to the plot, as Mahito stealing Sukuna's fingers is what led to Sukuna's resurrection in Shibuya. The death painting arc featured Yuji's interaction with Chozo's brothers, another event that would come into play in the Shibuya arc. The hidden inventory arc was important as well, for reasons I have already mentioned. Every single arc served as a build-up for Shibuya in one way or another. That's one of the things that made this arc so good. The intricate power system is one of JJK's strengths. Of course, the individual abilities and their usage is very interesting, but that's not all. The overall system is really well crafted, with several interesting applications. For example, a domain is supposed to keep things in, therefore the interior of a domain is far stronger than the exterior. By sacrificing the main purpose, this energy can be redirected towards a different goal. For example, a veil or a barrier keeps people out, but by allowing everybody else in, it stops serving its purpose, freeing up most of its energy, which is then used to keep one person out, that person being Gojo. A similar mechanism was used to erect the barriers around Shibuya. This concept will play an important role in the upcoming seasons as well. You just don't see stuff like this in other shows. The power scaling is perfect as well. Weaker characters like Maki and Nanami couldn't put up a fight against Jogo because of course they couldn't. Sensible scaling is really important in an action-oriented show, and JJK nails this aspect. Moving on, let's talk about the main characters. Gojo was the highlight early on, so let's start with him. The isolation that comes with being the strongest is a crucial part of Gojo's character. Something his ability is a not so subtle nod to. His technique makes it so that Gojo is infinitely far away from everything around him. He cannot coexist with the rest of the world, and that aspect was exploited by the villains, who placed him around hundreds of civilians, stopping him from going all out. Did I mention the villains are really smart? Because they are. This led to Gojo's downfall. Gojo getting sealed lifted the metaphorical safety blanket. The stakes skyrocketed. Anything could happen now, which again made this arc so much more enjoyable. The Gojo stuff was cool, but the main highlight was Yuji. This arc changed everyone, but Yuji was affected the most. Death is a central theme of JJK, and Yuji always struggled to deal with it. In his mind, he had the moral high ground. He thought of himself and his side as the righteous one, and this idea was shattered by Mahito. Yuji blamed himself for Sukuna's rampage and watched Nanami and Nobara die in front of him. Well, I doubt Nobara is actually dead, but that's besides the point. These experiences broke Yuji down, crushing his will to fight. Todo's speech is what brought Yuji back. The things he said are quite similar to the things Irwin from AOT said in his final speech. Sorcerers move forward, and when they die, they entrust their wills to the ones who are still alive. Remember that cycle I talked about near the start? This is a more optimistic way of looking at it. By the end, Yuji accepted his role as a cog. He accepted the fact that the world didn't revolve around him, and that curses and humans, despite being polar opposites, are the same. This made that final walk feel so deserved. It was cathartic and at the same time quite upsetting, as the fun, upbeat Yuji who wanted to save people was now gone. This scene wasn't edgy. There's a difference between edgy and deserved, and that difference is a Vine Boom sound effect. I'm so sorry. There's one more aspect that made this arc so amazing. That is the ending. Normally, battle shonen arcs end with a climactic fight, the animation quality steps up, the insert song starts to play, and the characters relearn the value of friendship. Even the first season of JJK concluded in this manner. But the end of season 2 was completely different. Every arc so far, in one way or another, built up to the Shibuya arc. But now that Shibuya is over, where do we go from here? Well, there's no need to worry. This arc has got you covered. The final episode was all about the consequences. Nothing will ever be the same again. Yuji won't be the same. Fushiguro won't be the same. Japan won't be the same. The people of Shibuya won't be the same, mostly because they're f***ing dead. And the Jujutsu world won't be the same. Those are the consequences. How will these changes affect the story? Only time will tell. The show isn't over. Far from it. And this episode serves as a build-up for what's to come, which, in my opinion, was the perfect ending to an arc like Shibuya. And that brings us to the end. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 was special. See what I did there? It was an incredible viewing experience, serving as both the perfect culmination and the perfect kickoff. Season 2 was also amazing for this channel. Christ almighty, look at those views. My bank account. So yeah, this season was truly incredible. That's about it. Did you like this video? Check out this other bit of content on screen if you did. Make sure to like and subscribe. And until next time.